Oh, this is exciting. We've actually got news to talk about. Hello, everybody. It's me, Ellie, for WhoCulture, and the time has come. The time has come to finally give you the release dates for season 1 of Doctor Who. We have finally been given what we've been asking for. Before I even announce them though, let me just... The press release for this announcement. It's Who-Revision Night. What an awful pun from the BBC. But you've got to respect the commitment, and it was one of the dates that we favoured over others in the month. So, Doctor Who returns on the 11th of May. Not only does Doctor Who return on the 11th of May, it returns with a double bill. 2 episodes are being released on that Saturday. Not only are those 2 episodes being released on that Saturday, they're being released twice. First and foremost, they will be released at midnight on BBC iPlayer on Saturday morning? Friday night / Saturday morning. They will be released on BBC iPlayer and then released again, broadcast normally on BBC One the same Saturday evening. This is unheard of. This is entirely new for Doctor Who, and this will be the case for every episode for this season, and I assume going forward with every episode of Doctor Who in the future. This is entirely new. We have not had Doctor Who released in this way ever. So in terms of the episodes then broadcasting on BBC One on the Saturday, we're not entirely sure at this point what time that will be, but they will be released before Eurovision, the Eurovision final. So we would assume maybe 6 till 8 p.m, something like that. Eurovision started at 8 p.m. last year. So going by that, we would suggest that these episodes would air between 6 and 8. But we don't know what is planned for Eurovision, so it might be slightly before then. Not entirely sure. But the point being that you can already watch them before then on BBC iPlayer if you so wish. And they will also be released on Disney Plus at the exact same time. So for example, in America, Eastern Standard Time, they'll be released at 7 p.m, which will be midnight here. So globally, we will all get the episodes dropping at the exact same time on the various places that they will be streamed. I should have just said there as well, 7 p.m. in America, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 10th of May. So that same Friday night. It's difficult, isn't it? Because when you talk about midnight, it's really hard to determine whether you're talking about the day before or the day after. Midnight on Saturday, but Friday night. So then 7 p.m. Eastern Time would be on the 10th of May. I'm even confusing myself. It didn't need to be that complicated. You get the point. We all get it at the same time. So whatever midnight on Saturday morning equates to where you live, that will be the time that you will be able to access Doctor Who on Disney Plus. Just to reiterate as well, the 2-episode release will only be for week 1. So week 1 we'll see 2 episodes, but following from that it will just be a single episode each Saturday for then the next 7 weeks. So as I said, this is completely new for Doctor Who. This is a completely new strategy for releasing Doctor Who. And it does seem very streaming focused, doesn't it? What it does mean is that there are going to be spoilers galore, because obviously everyone will have access to it from midnight on the various places on BBC iPlayer, but then some people won't watch it then. So between midnight then and then the broadcast later on, there's gonna be spoilers. So be warned that this is going to happen. I guess this could be a criticism on this format. Not everyone is able to stay up until midnight to watch the episode of Doctor Who drop. They may have to get up early for work, they may have children. There are various reasons why someone can't be staying up until midnight to watch 2 hour-long episodes of Doctor Who. And yes, so then they will have to avoid spoilers if they don't want it to be spoiled for them. Also, everyone just say a prayer for us, because if we have 2 episodes of Doctor Who airing at once, that means 2 lots of everything that we produce for you. 2 ups and downs, 2 discussions, 2 Easter egg videos. And there's only 2 of us, well 3 of us. There's only 3 of us, it's gonna pray for us. But also, woohoo! So obviously we did discuss all the potential release dates in a previous video within May. Personally, I think this is the better choice in terms of the 4th of May. I think that would have been too much of a clash with Star Wars content. And It does also mean that episode 2, which we know is the Beatles-focused episode, will be airing on the same day as Eurovision, which just feels right. So if we are basing this on, then it will be on for 7 consecutive weeks from there. Basically, because there are 2 episodes airing on one day, it means that instead of 8 weeks worth of episodes, we're going to have 7 weeks worth of episodes. That was what I was trying to say. So that would mean that the finale, the season finale, will air on the 22nd of June. This is right before the Euro 2024 knockout stage, which is good because it then means that Doctor Who is going to avoid clashing with the biggest matches of that tournament, which was something that we did say could have been an issue in our previous discussion of potential release dates. It will clash with an FA Cup final on the 25th of May, but that's not going to be a huge deal. It may mean that the BBC One broadcast on that Saturday evening might be slightly later, but it shouldn't be too much of an issue. It doesn't mean that we're not going to get an episode that day, but just be aware that it might clash with that football match in some way. But because it will be released at midnight as well, you will have access to it on BBC iPlayer immediately after it airs on iPlayer. So in theory, you could watch it at any point in the day. So not to be a downer, this is great news, this is very exciting. With the shorter episode count obviously comes less weeks worth of Doctor Who content, and the fact that they are releasing 2 in one day does mean that we have 1 less week of Doctor Who to watch. So from the 11th of May to the 22nd of June, it actually doesn't feel like that long. It's only just over a month, and it just, for the amount of build-up that we have for Doctor Who, it just feels like it's going to be over very, very quickly. So we're really hoping that we're going to have more Whoniverse content in the interim. Otherwise, we're going to have to wait all the way until Christmas for any more Doctor Who content. We do know that the Whoniverse is planned to expand, and we know there are spin-offs coming. So let's just hope and pray and cross our fingers that we will start to see some of those things come to light in that gap between the end of season 1 and the Christmas special that we'll have in December. So one other thing that is worth mentioning from this press release, it did include the announcement or just the reiteration of some of the guest stars that we're going to be seeing in season 1. So it mentioned that we will be seeing the return of Carla Sunday and Cherry Sunday and Mrs. Flood, so that's great. I mean, if we didn't see Mrs. Flood again, I think that would be slightly concerning, but we are going to see more of Ruby's family, so that's great. But also we have the guests that we already knew about, Jinx Monsoon, Aneurin Barnard, I love saying his name, Aneurin Barnard, it's a fun name, Yasmin Finney, Jonathan Groff, Bonnie Langford, Gemma Redgrave, Lenny Rush, Indira Varma. All of these people are not new to us, we knew they were going to be in it, we've seen them in trailers, we've seen casting announcements, but it also suggests that there are still more to come, which is very exciting because there are only 8 episodes, and the fact that there are going to be even more guest stars on top of all these ones we already know about, this is going to be a really jam-packed season, and I'm very, very excited for it. Can anyone tell? I feel like I've been smiling for the last hour. It's very exciting. But the most important thing to take away from watching this video is we now know when Doctor Who Season 1 will be airing. Starting on the 11th of May, midnight, airing at midnight, and again later in the evening on BBC One and obviously Disney Plus as well. Very exciting, very new, very bold, very progressive with the times of streaming. And it is very, very exciting. And let's hope that this is just the start of many more announcements to come in the build-up to Season 1 airing in May. Who else is excited? Just give me a really excited looking emoji in the comments down below, because I want to know what you think counts as the most excited emoji. Am I rambling? Yes, I am, but I just want to see the comments section full of emojis. Who wouldn't? In the meantime, I've been Ellie with WhoCulture, and in the words of Riversong herself, goodbye, sweeties.